Choosing Family by ginnyrules27. Chapter 17. The months flew by, and before Mal knew it, it was June, and the day of her 6th birthday had arrived. She didn't really expect much. Maleficent never really acknowledged it. The only reason Mal knew it was her birthday was because she had asked Maleficent when she was 3. Uma had asked about her birthday, and Mal, being a reasonably innocent 3-year-old, thought there had been no harm in asking the dragon the same question. Thankfully, Maleficent had been in a reasonably good mood, having gotten the chance to torment the goblins, so all Mal got was a terse response giving her the date. After Mal found out, though, Harry and Uma had made it their mission to make sure they at least celebrated Mal's birthday the best they could. Whether it was by trying to grab the freshest thing from the delivery barge they could, or by snatching something from under the Isle resident, they always made sure Mal had something on her birthday. Today, however, Mal woke up feeling a little excited for once. It was her first birthday where she had a parent who might do something other than simply tell her the day she was born. I mean, Dad won't be able to do much since we're trapped on an isle and Steph's stuck in Borodon, but at least it'll be better than what the dragon provides, Mal thought as she got dressed and quickly scurried out of her quote-unquote room at Maleficent's. The last thing she wanted was for Maleficent to try to teach Mal a lesson on her birthday. Thank the gods the dragon still hasn't realised I was the only kid on the Isle not invited to Blueberry's birthday, Mal thought as she made her way to the clubhouse as per tradition. Opening the gate, Mal couldn't help but chuckle at the sight before her. Clearly her cousin and friend had stayed up way too late to prepare a makeshift party for her, as they were slumped over the milk crates. A spray-painted banner hung above them, reading, "Happy Birthday, Mal," in dark purple. Shaking her head, Mal quietly walked over to Uma and shook her shoulder. "Uma! Not now, Mal," Uma muttered, sleep clearly still occupying her brain. "I need to get the clubhouse ready for Mal's party." "Eh?" Mal asked, amusement evident in her tone. "Well, what's left to do?" "We need... Mal?" "Good morning, sleepyhead," Mal chuckled as Uma stared up at her in shock, waking up from her slumber. "How late were you two here last night?" "I dunno." Uma said with a yawn and a stretch as she sat up. "Harry, Jay and I spent hours arguing over the colour the banner should be. Then Jay had to go finish his quota for his dad, and Harry and I finished up the decorations." Mal gave her friend a small smile. "It's nice to know that Harry has accepted Jay into the group." "I think it's because Jay's taller than us," Uma chuckled. "He had an easier time hanging the banner. We almost had to use Harry's hook to secure it to the wall before Jay swiped some sticky stuff from one of the shops. I didn't ask what it was, and I don't want to know what it is." "Hey, Mal," said Harry with a groan as he woke up, not even questioning the other girl's arrival. "Happy birthday." "Thanks, Harry," said Mal with a small smile. "Won't your dad be missing you at the counter, though?" Harry shook his head. "Captain Papa won't notice I'm gone. Well, he might, but he won't do anything. Not if I tell him I was making sure you had a great birthday. He's terrified of what the dragon might do, especially since I told him you never got an invite to Blueberry's party. Maleficent might murder him if she ever found out Hook was there when her own daughter wasn't," Uma said with a small smirk. She wasn't a fan of how Hook treated her first mate, and though she knew Harry still had a soft spot in her heart for the man, he was, after all, his only remaining parent. Mal sighed. Ever since Harry had turned 6 back late in April, about a couple of weeks after Blueberry's birthday, he had taken to calling his dad Captain Papa. I mean, it made sense in a way, considering Harriet called Hook Captain, while CJ still called Hook Papa. It just felt a little odd to hear it coming from Harry. "Jay should be here soon," Harry said, breaking Mal out of her thoughts. "He's picking up the present we got for you." "You guys didn't have to." "Yes, we did, Mal," Uma said firmly. "It's your birthday. We had to get you something since we all know the dragon won't acknowledge it." Mal sighed but didn't fight back. Even Jay had grown to see how much Maleficent's show of motherly affection toward Mal was an act now that he was in the crew. That being said, Mal still wanted to be careful about how much Jay knew. It wasn't that she didn't trust him, but it was just that with Jafar and Maleficent's gang, the risk was higher. The sound of the gate opening prevented any further conversations, and the three of them rushed downstairs, only to see Jay pushing what looked to be a bed. Jay, I know you like stealing, but did you have to steal someone's bed from them? Uma asked in shock. No! Jay chuckled. This was by the barge. I checked it out. It's in decent shape. No mould on the mattress or anything. I know we like to sleep in the clubhouse on the odd days our parents lock us out, but wouldn't it make more sense for there to be an actual bed for us to use? I don't know, Jay, Mal frowned, glancing up at the stairwell with all its twists and turns. How are we going to get it up there? Harry perked up. Give me 5 minutes, he said, and rushed off. What in the world got into him? Mal asked Uma and shrugged before turning back to Jay. Did you get the stuff we actually sent you for? Uma asked, and Jay smirked. Oh, Uma, do you actually doubt me, considering we sent you out for one thing and you came back with a bed? Good point, Jay chuckled and patted a satchel that was hanging off the headboard of the bed. But I got the stuff, don't worry. Mal chuckled and shook her head in amusement. Any chance I'll find out what the stuff is? When Harry gets back, Uma. Though that, depending on where he's gone, that could be hours from now. To their surprise, the son of Hook only took a little over 10 minutes before he arrived again, this time accompanied by his older sister and a petite blonde girl with a blue and white striped top. Harry said you guys needed some help, Harriet said, brushing a bit of her brown hair out of her face. Jay found a bed and we want to put it in our clubhouse, Mal said, but there's no way we'd be able to get up all those stairs on our own. Harriet smirked before turning to her little brother. So you came to me, your smarter and stronger older sister? No, I came to you because you're bigger, Harry said. Plus, Captain Papa won't notice you're gone for at least an hour since he's with Gaston. Harriet chuckled. Good point. Okay, so Jay and Harry grab the end of the bed there. Mal, you and Uma take each side, while Sammy and I take the head. Someone needs to be able to tell the boys when a corner's coming. I'll do it, Mal said, taking the left side. No need, scoffed Harry. I know the stairway by heart. So do I, Harry, but you've never walked it backwards before. Mal shot back as they picked up the bed. They quickly got started as, even though they had 2 8-year-olds with them, it was still a pretty heavy bed, and they didn't want to have to carry it longer than they had to. Does anyone need a break? Harriet called as they stopped on the first landing. Bah! Harry scoffed. Breaks are for wimps and the insipid mermaids of Neverland. You know the captain's not here, right? He's not going to know if you don't spew his catchphrases, Harriet told him. Sammy won't say anything anyway. Right, Sammy? Sammy nodded and Harry turned back to her brother. So, as I was saying, anyone need a break? We took one while you and Harry were arguing, Uma said, shaking the slight pain out of her arms. She didn't know where Jay had found the bed, but it seemed lighter than a bed should be. Mal had the same thought too. Could this be Steph's doing? Mal thought. After all, Steph saw the clubhouse before she left for Borodon, and how it was lacking in furniture. How easy could it have been for her to make it so that there was a bed light enough for us to be able to move? She's a goddess, after all, with access to options we could only dream of. Reaching the top of the stairwell, the 6 of them quickly positioned the bed against one of the walls of the clubhouse. Wow, Uma said softly. We have a bed. We do, Mal grinned. Jay, I know you didn't mean to find the bed, but well done. Jay smirked. My pleasure. Harriet and Sammy chuckled. Well, we'll get out of your hair, Harriet said. You 4 need us for anything else? Just let me know. The 2 older girls turned to walk out before Harriet paused. Oh, Mal, happy birthday. Thanks, Harriet, Mal said with a small smile, and the older girl left the clubhouse. There was a brief silence before Harry turned to Jay. You got them? Oh, right. Jay nodded. They're in my bag, on the headboard right there. Mal frowned. Got what? Your presents, silly, Uma said with a smile. Can't have a birthday without presents. Mal shook her head. Guys, really, you didn't have to. Did you hear something, Jay? Harry asked as he got Jay's bag off of the headboard. Nope. Jay shook his head. Only Mal saying thank you for my presents, guys. Mal chuckled. Well, if you're going to insist, where's my loot? That's more like it. Harry smirked as he tossed Jay's bag to him. Jay caught it and took out 2 oddly wrapped parcels. It was clear that her friends had used whatever paper they could get their hands on to wrap them. Mal didn't care though. Here, Mal, Jay said, handing her one of the parcels. Mal raised an eyebrow as she felt it. A book? Just open it, Jay chuckled, and Mal carefully unwrapped the parcel. The paper might prove necessary later, and is still reasonably good shape. To Mal's surprise, a hard purple book awaited her. I found it in the delivery barge, Uma said. Whatever prince or princess and Borodon who had it clearly didn't believe in waste not, want not. There's about half pages still remaining. You've been planning out our tags, but there's only so much you can do with the water rings left from Uncle Hades' restaurant. Mal nodded, grinning a little as she opened it. It was a lined notebook, and it was clear that whoever threw it out hadn't cared much for keeping the pages intact. Bits of the remaining paper still clinging to the spine. At least it's not pink, Mal thought as she set the book aside, and I can easily find some charcoal or something at Dad's place to use to sketch out the tags. Plus, since it's purple, everyone will know it's by sight that it's mine. Well, it doesn't make any sense to say it since there are only 2 parcels, but open this one next, Mal, Harry said, handing her the other parcel. Mal chuckled and quickly unwrapped it. To her surprise, a tri-cornered hat, like the one Uma started to wear, stared back at her. We know normally a crew has 1 captain, Harry said, but we figured, in this case, we'd make an exception. Jay added with a small smirk. We wouldn't be a crew if it weren't for you, Mal, Uma stated. You're my best friend. If I'm sharing power with anyone, it's you. Mal stared at her friends in shock. She definitely hadn't been expecting that. Guys! Besides, you can't expect Maleficent's daughter to be subservient in her own crew, Jay joked, and Mal rolled her eyes. It was corny, but it helped ease the feelings that were choking up in the back of her throat. How did you get it purple? Mal asked, holding it up to look at it closer. Lady Tremaine's shop, Uma said. The boys were a bunch of guppies walking in there, but Anastasia said if we didn't make a mess, she wouldn't say anything about us being there. Mal nodded. The elder Tremaine sister never really kicked up a fuss about the kids coming in to curl up and die the way her mother or younger sister would. She hasn't been in for a while. Is she feeling okay? Probably just tired from taking care of our brat, Harry stated. Anthony would lower anyone's energy level. Don't you mean Lord Tremaine? Jay scoffed as they all chuckled. I swear that boy's worse than Blueberry sometimes, Mal said, rolling her eyes as she put the hat on. It suits you, Captain, Harry said with a small smirk. That's co-captain, Harry, Mal stated, giving Uma a small smile. Uma was captain first. She's our main captain. Uma smiled and stood a little straighter. Well, as your captain, I order you to have a good birthday. Aye, aye, Captain, Mal said, giving her cousin a small salute. Her friends chuckled, and before long the crew had split up. Each one of her friends expected back by their parents. Mal didn't mind, though. That just meant she could spend more day at her dad. Dad! Mal called as she walked through into the underworld. Oh, Lady Mal! Payne exclaimed as he walked it past, and Mal rolled her eyes. Ever since her dad had been told the truth, his minions had been calling her Lady Mal non-stop. She wasn't a lady. She was just Mal. Payne, Mal said with a small nod. Is my dad in the kitchen? Yes, my lady. Don't call me that! Mal exclaimed as Payne scampered away, obviously expecting a fireball that never came. Mal couldn't help but roll her eyes once more. How did Dad survive just 6 months without Steph before those two? Just before I came along? Mal thought as she made her way into the kitchen. To her surprise, a similar scene to the one that had been at the clubhouse awaited her. Well, except for the fact no one was slumped over asleep. Dad? Mal asked, a little shocked at the fact that her dad had remembered or even known when her birthday was. You thought I wouldn't do anything? Hades asked, giving his daughter a small smile. Molly, I've waited 6 years to celebrate this day with you. Now, it's not much,
but I was thinking maybe some dinner, and then maybe get a portal call from Steph. Then I've got something I want to show you.
Okay, Mal said with a small nod as she tilted her head slightly. What's for dinner?
Chicken, of course. Hades chuckled. The way you scarf it down at the restaurant, I assumed it was your favourite. Unless you'd rather have something else.
Mal shook her head. Nope, chicken's fine.
Hades grinned. Okay, well, you can come over here and help if you want, or you can stay over there and offer commentary.
Mal tapped her chin in thought. Snide commentary is what I'm good at, though.
Well, every chef needs a critic.
Hades teased, and Mal stuck her tongue out at him, causing Hades to chuckle once more. Mal watched as her dad quickly got to work on dinner, the sound of sizzling kitchen quickly filling the kitchen. Hey, Dad, Mal asked after a few minutes of silence, do you have any charcoal or something I could use?
Hades chuckled a little. Well, that's an odd question. Why do you need charcoal?
Oma, Harry and Jay got me this for my birthday, Mal said, holding up the notebook. I want to break it in, but I don't have anything to draw with. Hades couldn't help but smile at that. He loved seeing Mal doodling with the condensation from the glass water, or drawing in the sand by the docks whenever he made his way to Hooks. With the popularity of the restaurant picking up, it had gotten to the point where he needed to have 2 delivery pickups, and he wasn't going to have Mal or Virgil be overworked.
We should have some around here somewhere, Hades said, or I can ask Steph to pick some up when she comes back from Borodon.
Mal nodded slowly, clearly not happy with that answer, but not wanting to make a fuss. It didn't matter anyway, as dinner was quickly ready soon. Hades plated up the chicken and presented it to Mal.
Dig in, Mally, Hades said with a small smile. I'll plate my own, but you don't have to wait for me.
That was all the invitation Mal needed to start tearing into the chicken. It tasted better than it normally did, which was a high bar to clear, as her dad's cooking was always pretty good. It was hard to say what it was. Maybe there was some new seasoning? Hades couldn't help but smile as he ate his dinner. He hated the fact that he couldn't spoil Mal more than what the Isle would allow, but at least he could do this much. Besides, at least she was with him and not with the dragon.
Lord Hades?
Payne's voice broke through the silence as the 2 of them finished up their dinner.
Yes?
There's a call on the portal from Lady Persephone, Payne said, and Hades' heart swelled as he saw the grin that appeared on Mal's face at the little imp's words.
Great timing, Steph,
Hades thought as he helped Mal down before she raced to the portal room. Mal! Persephone exclaimed in delight as Mal burst into the room. Oh, sweetie, happy birthday. Thanks, Steph, Mal said with a small smile. I wish I could be there to celebrate with you in person. Persephone sighed, the smile still on her lips. But I'm sure your friends and your father have made a good one. Mal nodded. They have. Oh, Steph, that reminds me. Did you send a bed to the Isle from Borodon? What do you mean, Mal? Persephone asked, though the small smirk on her face betrayed the innocent look that she was going for. Mal could only smirk in response as Hades walked into the room.
Hey, Steph, Hades said with a small smile. How was your day?
Persephone sighed. Oh, you know, the usual. I won't bore you with the details. Not on Mal's birthday of all days. Mal chuckled a little at that. She loved hearing about Steph's day, if only because it normally came with a running commentary from her dad. She never knew how many different ways there could be one to call someone a moron before she met her dad. Have you shown her yet? Persephone asked, looking at Hades. Showed me what? Mal asked, looking at Hades, but he shook his head.
I wanted to wait until after you called, he told Persephone. I figured we'd make the offer together.
Mal tilted her head in slight confusion. What offer? What were they talking about?
Molly,
Hades said gently, kneeling down to get to her level.
I know you live at Maleficent's right now, but what would you say if I offered you a place to sleep here?
Mal paused. You mean like I would live with you?
If that's what you want, Hades said. It's completely up to you, though. I know you've spent 5 years living with your mother, so if you'd rather...
No! Mal said, cutting Hades off, the excitement of what that meant rushing through her body. No! I want a room here. Hades grinned and Persephone smiled from her spot in the portal. They had waited years to hear those words, and they sounded just as sweet as they'd imagined. But wait! Steph asked if you had shown me something. Mal asked, looking at her father in confusion and slightly tilting her head.
Hades chuckled. Well, you're going to need a place to hang your hat after all, he told her, patting the hat that was still on Mal's head. Virgil and I have been working on getting a room set up for you.
Really? Mal asked. But what if I'd said no? That I didn't want it?
It would have still been there for you, Molly, Hades said gently, for whenever you did want it.
Mal couldn't help but smile at that. Go and show her, dear, Persephone said. I'll stay on the line for when you get back. Hades nodded and held out a hand for Mal to take. Gently taking the offered hand, Mal followed Hades out of the portal room to one of the spare rooms. It was actually the only one room that she hadn't been in since she had been over in the underworld. The door was always shut, but sometimes she would catch Hades or Steph staring at it fondly. Now, though, Mal had to chuckle as she came to the door. It was painted a dark shade of purple. It was so dark it almost looked like black, but Mal could tell the difference.
Ready?
Hades asked as he put his hand on the doorknob. Mal nodded, a little excited. Hades gave a small smile as he opened the door, and Mal couldn't help but grin. It truly wasn't much, but what it was better than anything she could have imagined. Sure, she had a room at Maleficent's, but that was just for show than anything else. After all, the dragon couldn't have get out that her daughter was sleeping in a closet or something. Here she had a bed and a dresser and a bookshelf with more books than she thought were on the aisle. Sure, the furniture was clearly used, but Mal didn't mind. She wasn't a prissy princess. She was a dragon. No, Mal thought as she glanced at her dad. I'm a Cerberus. How?
I'm your dad, Mal, said Hades. When it comes to making sure your kid's happy, not even a magical barrier will stop a parent. I know it's not much, but it's got the bones to be a...
Whatever Hades was going to say was cut off by the hug Mal gave him. Normally, Mal would have kept her cool and freaked out in private. But now, knowing that she had another option other than the clubhouse on nights where she didn't want to stay at Maleficent's, a place where she could truly be her and not some carbon copy of the dragon. Best birthday ever. End of chapter. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that. Absolutely lovely one. For those of you who've been on my channel for a while or binged my videos recently, there are a few of you, which I'm very grateful for. Anyway, those of you who have done that, you will know that I absolutely love it when the characters I love are spoiled. This isn't much, of course, it's the Isle, but that is lovely. I like how Hades wanted to wait until Persephone could ask him to, and the lovely hat and the sketchbook. I like Harriet and Sammy helping get the bed up. I mean, these kids don't even sleep in beds. I've said it before, but oh my god. Anyway, you guys know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe and hit that bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Have a good day, night, or whatever time zone you're in. Bye my guys, gals and non-binary pals. I'll see you in another video. Bye!